Hello, Railgun here once again with a ZvP analysis. As you might know by now, I really like the Lurker Mutalisk composition, and this game is no exception. Yeah, well, of course the games take a while, but this time I will once again show you an analysis on a Lurker Mutalisk game, which I practiced some more against the Protoss. So I'm gonna quickly analyze the opener that I did. I went for an 18 hatchery, 18 gas, 17 pool, instant link speed, take drones out of gas, put them back in at 315, roach warren 325, quick third once my natural and 2 queens were being built. I did some damage with my circlings at his base, just used them for scouting, saw Star Gate. I check what's coming out, Oracle, Spore Crawler, and Spore Crawler, the natural reaction. So nothing special so far. My next 100 gas I put into the lair once again, and I take more gas just once my lair starts, and begin to drone up more and more. I keep myself safe. Excuse me, I keep myself safe with roaches against adepts, but seeing an early forge showed me that he won't go for super fast adept play, which is something that I'm definitely a fan of. I hate it when the Protoss go for a fast adept play, but I still need to build a couple of roaches just to be safe. I used my Overlord once again to scout his base. He defends it with a couple of sentries, stalkers. He built a robot to get observers out. I will start a robotic space soon, which is the reaction to the roaches usually. They build a fast robotic space to get disruptors out. I just did some damage here with my roaches, while at home I'm adding a spire. Sorry, here it is. He is now building the robotic space. He's actually using the new stasis ward to trap my units for up to 21 seconds. And it's also invisible, but it only traps ground units. It's kind of annoying, never really played against it before, but it was fun to see. Here you see it in action, stasis ward, roaches are trapped, roaches are doomed. Now, this is no problem for me though. He only has Oracle, Stalker, sentries right now. He'll probably soon add the first disruptors once since his robotics facility is now finished. I just try to do as much damage as I can with my roaches, throwing them away, trading them away. While at home I'm already adding the Lurker then. You see, I built my Mutalisk, and at the same time I also go to Lurkers. This is the same that I do in CVC when I play against a roach player. And the reason is that the Lurkers work the exact same way against Protoss as they do against Zerg. Against Terran it's a little bit harder to do because they have those damned siege tanks with the really long range that kill your Lurkers, but that's another story. Anyways, here you see I'm trying to do damage with my Mutalisks, just whatever damage I can. I already got a supply lead out of it, even though I didn't do that much, and he defended my roaches really well with his stasis trap. They're still around, he still puts more down. It's actually quite fun to see. From the Protoss point of view, they definitely seem useful, but I adapted quite quickly to them, and I'll soon begin to counter them. I'm just now morphing my Lurkers. So far I mostly just rested on my army, built a couple spines and spores for defense so I can move my Lurkers there quickly. I have army here in case he goes for an adept run by, and here. In the main I only have a Spore Crawler, so a War Prism could do some damage, and I think we will see one later as well. Right now I'm mostly just trying to harass the same spot over and over again. He uses Photon Overcharge, he puts his Stalkers there. They didn't take a fourth yet, so I also have a higher base count. And I'm generally doing pretty well in the resource management department. I also lost a couple more resources, but I also mined more, so I'm still fine in my opinion. The one thing he has a huge advantage in his upgrades, I have absolutely nothing on ground so far, and he's already getting the +3 attack. But that's not, it actually doesn't matter as much if he plays against Lurkers as it does when he plays against a composition that wants to fight him heads up. Because with Lurkers I mostly hide behind my spines and spores. As you see here, my classic defense against anything, using a couple of spines, couple of spores to snipe the observers and to get vision for DTs, and a couple of Lurkers hiding. I put the same setup at every base, same here. In my main and natural not so much, and I keep my mobile Mutalisk force to keep on harassing him. The harassment does so much damage to him, and if he moves out he basically sacks his space because he cannot just leave a huge number of Stalkers or whatever at home. A mistake that I made here is I didn't get an Overseer and Overseer speed to kill any observers or stasis ward just yet. I think I'll do it in the future, but so far I haven't. Here he is attacking a base of mine. I sadly lose it. I don't have anything to defend it there. Didn't set up my defense in time. Another stasis ward. A bit annoying. I wasn't really sure how to tackle this sort of composition yet. This is still one of my earlier games against the mass Stalker composition. But I'm just trying to do whatever I can. Here you see what happens when he puts the stasis ward down and it doesn't work in his favor. He gets 3 links, still something for free, but probably would have wanted more. He also has a couple of disruptors with his army. The disruptors are the key for Protoss to defeat Lurkers if Protoss wants to go for a ground-based army. At home he's adding a Dark Shrine to warp in DTs. He uses a lot of cannons because he has quite a few minerals, he still has a couple left, and he definitely needs to keep his bases alive. I'm just trying to do whatever damage I can with my Mutalisks, and it's basically, if you played in Wings of Liberty, this is basically Broodlord Infestor, but now it's called Lurker Mutalisk. Welcome. Well, he keeps warping in more and more Stalkers while I keep killing him. More units dead, more units dead. He's now using a Warp Prism. The one thing he can do is use a Warp Prism to pick up the disruptors and then drop them. And I mean, not drop them, but run in, let them explode, and then pick him up, keep him safe, and then run him in, explode, pick him up. Because the pickup range is huge enough now that he can do that without taking damage. I'm now adding the Infestation Pit, getting more upgrades for my ground, even though they're not that important. I want to get them eventually just to keep up with him. He's trying to do damage. I have a supply lead, but I'm not really searching a fight right now. I'm safe with what I have. I was not sure how much does the Protoss have. I just wanted to survive against this attack, and well, the defending against the harassing the main is obviously no problem with my Mutalisks. Here he is now trying to find another spot to attack, but we get a similar picture to what happened when a Zerg tried to attack a spot like this. His army just trades so inefficiently that it's just not worth it. Here I'm throwing away a couple of units. Well, it happens. Did some damage to him as well, but could have gone better. He doesn't have anything against links, so I thought it's okay for me to trade like that. Here are the stasis traps, stasis wards. As you can see, they don't activate against air units, only against ground units. He's now using the disruptor invincibility to keep them safe from my Mutalisks, but I managed to snipe them either way. Do some damage to his units, and now he has the problem that he's basically stuck at home. He has Stalkers, I have Mutalisks, and a lot of Mutalisks. Let's see, I have 29 Mutalisks right now. I still don't have an Overseer with them, which is a damn shame. He managed to take this base because, well, quite honestly, I fucked up and didn't scout properly. Managed to get a free salad. He's now adding Archons and Storm to defend against... No, I didn't get Storm yet, but he's starting to get Archons to defend against my Mutalisks. But the problem is the Mutalisks are not actually the main problem. The main problem are the Lurkers that he needs to deal with. The Mutalisks just run around and try to do damage wherever they can. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit right here because I think we've seen enough of this exchange. And, well, you probably all have seen what happens in Heart of the Swarm, so I'm not gonna look at that too closely. Protoss didn't really get anything new against the Mutalisk, so he doesn't even get Phoenix. I'm not even sure if he goes for Stargate at all. He goes for Colossi, and Colossi range, but let's see, Colossi get to range 7 I think? No, range 8, and Lurkers have range 9. So Lurkers outrange Colossi. And they also deal 36 damage to them, which is quite a bit. Yeah, so I'm just running around with my Mutalisks, doing damage wherever I can, sniping this, sniping that. I was surprised to see Colossi because I didn't really expect him to go for Colossi. Didn't really make a lot of sense in my mind. I added my Hive to get my free upgrades and to get Vipers out, which I'm not even sure that I will need against this guy because he does not seem to react properly to my Mutalisk play. He's just trying to chase them all over the place while I do more and more damage to him. 3 Colossi, so he built the Colossi, got the range upgrade and then threw them away. Gonna speed it up a little bit quickly. Here once again I look at the bases. Hard to attack. Wait. Hard to attack. Definitely hard to attack. This is where he attacked last time, so I wanted to be extra safe here. This base is not that well defended, but it's still defended well enough. Well, I'm not gonna lie, there isn't that much going on. He's not trying to do DT harassment, but I also put spores, spines and everything at every base, so even that shouldn't work. He's trying to expand as well, which is working quite well for him because I'm not doing that good of a job with my Mutalisks, sadly. But I will eventually manage to run down his bases with my Mutalisks because I have such a high amount that his cannons can no longer stop them, and I killed his forge numerous times so he cannot add mass cannons either, which was more lucky by me than anything else. Lost a couple of Mutalisks and the Overseer there in the exchange to get the Nexus, but I think it's worth it because I really want to keep him on a low base count. His natural almost mined out at 19 minutes, third a couple of minerals, but basically empty, and his fourth still is quite okay. Now he added the classic counter to Mutalisk, Archon, Stalker, Templar. Well, the composition works really well against Mutalisks. Well, I lost a lot of Mutalisks there due to miss micro. That was really bad. I lost like 10 there, and even more. Yeah. Damn shame. Well, he did a really good job there defending against the Mutalisk, but he still managed to lose a lot of probes. Looking at the probe count, he's at 30 probes, half of them not even mining, losing his 5th base once again. I'm not sure what that probe was doing over there. I'm now adding Corruptors to get a Greater Spire and Broodlords out. I'm getting Ultralisk for the defense, because I realized at this point, well, if the Protoss has no bases, then he eventually will need to attack, because he cannot defend. He cannot win by defending one base after the other, because eventually I will just outmine him by taking this base and this base, and then I will have at least one base more, and I'm trading already a lot more efficient than he does. So now he's moving across the map on creep, of course. He has a lot of High Templars. I'm not sure if his plan was to storm my Lurkers, but well, you'll see what happens. I built a lot of spines here. Let's quickly check. Here are the Broodlords being morphed, doing damage with Hydralisks over here. Also have an Overseer with them, because I knew he would try to warp in DTs. My Mutalisks keep him from setting up this base, doing damage to this one as well. His probe count basically goes to 0. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna go back a little bit quickly. This is where he attacked. I want to see this. I want to show you this attack. Here he goes in, trying to attack me. He does quite a good job here. He doesn't lose that much because his Archons mostly take the damage. You can also see the game is soon over. You will also realize why quite soon. His Archons are now pretty low on shield though, and he's losing more and more at home. He has no mining base, only has a couple of probes left. My Mutalisks, the main army that I have, is not even used to fight. He tried to go here, saw mass Lurker, decided against it. Now he goes over here. And let's see. Oh, sorry. He sees the Broodlord, Ultralisk, Lurkers. Types lol, GG's out. Yeah. Well, that was the game, so I'm gonna give a quick summary once again. I used early roaches to be safe against adepts with a quick clear. I transitioned into Mutalisks, and I used the roaches to attack him over here, where he had a lot of Stalkers. I then made a switch from roaches to Mutalisks to keep him in check, and at the exact same time I managed to get Lurkers up to keep my bases safe, like this. And I transitioned into the late game, where I then constantly tried to shut down his bases and do damage to him with a lot of upgraded Mutalisks, while he tried to keep his Stalker, Archon, Colossi, Templar composition running and be safe against my army and basically win with the classic, well, here's my 200 Protoss death ball, let's push this Zerg over. I then defended at home with a couple of Lurkers, killed most of his army, and the rest ran into a wall of Ultralisk, Broodlord, Corruptor, Lurker, Hydra, Spy and Spore, and I didn't even use my Mutalisks, which are kind of the main army that I have to defend. I still have a huge bank, as you can see. I can safely set up bases wherever I want, you can't really shut them down. Over here I still have a lot of Lurkers that I can use to defend. I have Lurkers here. I basically set up Lurkers everywhere with a couple of Spines and Spores to be safe against any kind of harassment, and be safe if he tries to push into it, because he loses a lot more than I lose by having a couple of units there. Well, I hope you liked this rather okayish long game, and feel free to subscribe to me, feel free to comment if you want to see something specific or if you don't like anything you saw, and as always, thank you for watching.